Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop. In this episode, I guess I could say I'm taking a little veer off to the side, and I've been doing a lot with RC, as some of you who follow me on Instagram and my personal Facebook page kind of know. So I'm going to do some RC videos, and don't worry, I'm still going to be doing die-cast cars, but I'm going to set up a playlist just for RC stuff, and we'll see how it goes. So today, this is a generic Traxxas Slash. Okay, I just bought it, took it out of the box, took the cover off, and what I'm going to be doing is converting it to a Mudboss. A Mudboss is pretty much just, you can see I've had this body for a while, it's all dusty. Actually did it up with Outlaw Speed Shop stuff, 70, year I was born, 1970, not 1870. Some of you think I'm an old fart. I am, but not that old. But anyways, and Huber Graphics do this for me. He did a killer job. I let him go with it. I told him kind of the color scheme I wanted, and then I wanted my logo on it. Other than that, it came out really good. As an artist, I like it when people give me the freedom to do what they want, so to do what I want, excuse me. So this came out awesome. Anyways, so it's wintertime or fall, and the outside dirt oval that I was running, and I'm new to this, so you guys are going to have to bear with me a little bit, and we'll kind of maybe learn together. There you go. That's done. So we're moving inside, and I have a short course truck from Losi that I'm building, but I only ran Sportsman this year, which is kind of a generic class. It's pretty much two-wheel drive, run what you brung. It's for novice, but I had such a blast. I wanted to continue, and they do have a Sportsman inside, but next season on the dirt oval, I plan on running the Mudboss. With the carpet, they're allowing us to run inside with the same setup, same tires, and stock Mudboss is stock. At least where I run, you have to use stock tires. It's a 12-turn motor. Pretty much it's entry level. Run, pretty much out of the box to try to keep things somewhat competitive while you're learning. They have other classes, of course, but this is the first one. If you'll notice, there are no shocks. I took the shocks off. I was going to give them to a buddy of mine. He doesn't need them, so shocks had to come off anyways, because I'm going to put some limiters, and you're allowed to cut 3 springs on the front. So I'm going to do that. And I bought the shock caps, because these tend to break on these. Real chintzy plastic. I mean, they're decent, but these will help that. And that's an upgrade we're allowed to do. I believe we're allowed to update and upgrade the front A-arms to RPMs. Same thing with the steering. Those tend to break quite often. So, and the only thing I'm really going to do is I might be able to change the servo, but I'm not going to do that right now. And I'm going to change out this transmitter. I just picked up a Futaba T4 PM, and I was running this with my Sportsman, so I picked up another setup for that, so that way I can run one controller. What happened is I ended up buying one car, and that turned into like 8 cars. So this hobby is like crack, and coincidentally, if you're in this hobby, you won't have enough money for crack. But anyways, let me get set up, and I'm going to start doing this step by step. Mark over at Oval RC has a killer 3-part tutorial on how to do this. That's going to be a hell of a lot more in depth, but I figured I got to start somewhere, and it's a matter of changing the front bumper, losing one of these, and putting posts here to allow it to come through here and here. as opposed to up front where it is on the actual stock Traxxas body. So let me get my tools out and we'll go back at it. Alright, so I already started doing this just to avoid the aggravation, but this needs to come off because we're going to be putting this on the front, so this comes off, and we're going to be putting posts here, as I stated earlier. This you have to kind of bend back, and it's got a lot of flexibility in it, so don't worry about breaking it. I mean, don't be Hercules or anything, but you can push it back far enough where you can get your driver in there to take these screws out. And this is pretty much the mount. If you were going to keep the stock slash body, you got multiple locations that you can put this, but we're not going to be using this. So then this has to come off, which means you got 3 here and 4 right here that all have to come off. Let's see, here we go. Do that. Yeah, I know I should have power tools for this, but I don't. I like to loosen them all first, just a habit. And try to keep everything because you might want to bring it back, put it back to stock slash at some point. Not that you'll probably remember where all this goes, but you know, in the end, this is a fun hobby to get into. This is probably one of the cheaper classes to run. A stock slash, as of right now, is around $229. This is just the 12-turn, non-brushless. It's not the VXL, just a generic slash that comes without the batteries. But you could technically get into this for $229 or so for the slash, maybe $100, $120 for a basic charger and battery. We run 2-cell. A stock Traxxas battery would even work fine. And then a body. The body's like $60, and you could just paint it. So, for all in, you could be under, around $400. And you could be out there racing and having a blast at your local track. And what's good about this is, if you go to a track, I kind of lingered around a little bit. I didn't really just jump right in. I was kind of, I wouldn't say nervous, but I wasn't sure. How certain hobbies you check out and people they're kind of stuck up, and it's hard to be the new guy. What I found at my local track was everybody was more than willing to help because it's just more people to race with and have fun with. So I was really surprised at how open people were to giving advice and helping. I mean, I wasn't a pest, but I certainly asked a lot of questions. And then the best advice I can give you is just go out there, just go out and race. It's the only way you're going to learn. So this is the whole front bumper assembly that we don't need. So far that's that and that's that. Then the last piece I'm going to take off that we don't need is you don't run right side bumper guards. So that's pretty much every track. But keep these. I don't think you'll ever break one, but they're interchangeable from side to side. So on the off chance that you do mess up the other side, you have a spare. And the 12T Mudboss runs the stock chassis. There are, I've got one right here. This is the low center of gravity chassis. So if you look, see how everything's nice and smooth. It's really low to the ground. That just helps with your turning and everything, but stock class, I was running that on carpet. As you can tell, I got carpet crap everywhere now. Anyways, so this just pops off, just like that. And then this goes on the front. So that way you have some, I should have left the shocks on this, but that's going to go like that. So that goes here, and you'll use the same screws you took out. So let me put that on. Alright, so here is the front bumper mounted upside down using the 2 holes that we took the front piece off. The part number on that is Traxxas 2735. Have to have a spare. Don't know why. It's the one thing with RC, you end up all kinds of extra stuff. So next is the screws that you took out of the front right here. When you took the front bracket off, there's 2 long ones and 1 fat one that's shorter. Long ones you're going to put in these holes. So one I just threaded through here, and the other one is going to go on the other side. And these are going to be your screws that are going to hold your new body mounts for the front. So I take the front one out on this side because it's shorter, like so. You can see the difference. And you're pretty much just going to put this right back, and that'll stick up just like the other one. And just make sure they're nice and snug. Again, it should have been a lot easier if I left the shocks on it, but like I said, I'd taken them off to give to a buddy. So I had set this all up on another slash that ended up being my Sportsman, so I took it all off again. I had these on. These are shorter, but essentially you can get the this is what I was sold. I don't know what these part numbers are. They're definitely different height, but I'm pretty sure that these worked. So you're just pretty much just going to thread them on, and they come with these little lock collars, so that helps you adjust your height, because you got little pins that go in here, so you can move these up and down to adjust your height to whatever works for you. These kind of suck getting started. I recommend, I already had these on, like I said a while ago, but the best bet is to take those screws and thread them in first off the car, because sometimes getting them started is a little bit of a pain in the neck and frustrating. So just get them all screwed all the way down, like so. Putting the lock collars on also help. Gives you something to grab onto, so you're not breaking out your pliers. Okay. Alright, so that's that. So now we've got the front bumper on, we got our front body mounts ready to rock. The only other thing we're going to have to do, that we're allowed to do, and we kind of have to do it for the body clearance, is we've just got to move the servo underneath. So you're going to gain probably 1/4 of an inch, which is really all you need to be able to put this underneath. So you've got to take, you don't have to do that. I'm going to end up doing that, but I'll do that off camera. So to do that, you pretty much get your servo saver right here. You're pretty much just going to take this screw off, like so. And put the screw off to the side, because you don't want to lose it. Flip it back over. You're just going to take these 4 screws out. This may seem kind of a, I mean, it's not really a lot of, in comparison, I just got done building that Losi 22, the SCT short course truck kit, the 3.0, and first time putting a kit together, and it was challenging to say the least. The instructions, as far as RC instructions go, wasn't too bad, but you'll find the more you're in this hobby, the more that a lot of the instructions, if there are any, kind of suck. But as far as builds go or modifications go, this is probably just about as simple as it's going to get. So you're just going to take this, and now you're going to mount it like that. I mean, it's really pretty basic, nothing nothing outrageous. One there. I like to start all my screws first to make sure I get them in. Nothing worse than getting 3 of the 4 bolts tight and realizing the other one's off just a little bit. This is something that if your track allows you to change it out, I highly advise changing it out. I'm going to. I ended up buying a servo for this, but I threw it in my, they're running a stock / class for off-road 2-wheel drive trucks this winter. And because I haven't been on that track before and there's a lot of lefts, rights, and jumps, I want to get some driving time. And I put the servo in that, and a lot of the upgraded parts I had bought for this, like the RPM arms and all that kind of stuff. See, this is being a pain in the neck, and it's lined up. It will go. Yeah, these servos and the servo savers will definitely be something, one of the first things that go when these hit something. That and the little steering arms right here. But you can buy, I mean, everything for these are pretty cheap. I kind of liken these to the small block Chevy of RC. I used to joke I used to build hot rods for a living, and when it came to small block Chevy stuff, we used to joke about that we can go to, you pretty much go to the 7-Eleven, get a big gulp, a thing of nachos, and an alternator, because you can get small block parts everywhere for a Chevy. Traxxas is kind of the same way, because it's been out since, these slashes have been around since, 2000, and I'm sure somebody will correct me, I want to say 2008, 2009. On. Take this. I'll adjust this later. Put that back on. But yeah, the metal stuff's much better. I mean, it's not so much the servo, but it's got the plastic servo gear. So the other ones will have a metal gear, and then you can get a metal horn. I think it's a 25 tooth. Makes things a lot easier because it will break at some point. Alright, so I have body mounts, front bumper. I put my transponder in. This is where it fits the best. Your track will require it at some point. I have a Milapse. I installed my Futaba TFHSS. I synced it all up, everything's working good. Servo's mounted upside down. I lined my servo up. Everything's running good. Now it's time for shocks. So I'm going to kind of go with the basic setup that I had. I got my two rears, my two fronts. You can obviously tell which is which. So, big thing you got to do, this comes off, it's a little clip. Like so. Spring comes off. This is the top part. And you get these preload spacers that help with your ride height. I had marked these for the hell of it. Yeah, hold on a second. So these come pre-filled with oil. I honestly don't know what Traxxas puts in theirs. I'm sure if it's probably in the instructions, but that would require me to read those. And I am not much for reading instructions. So, because I'm changing the caps out anyways, there's a little rubber bladder in here. Right here. Get a little cup. Get all the oil out. And pretty much you can take this rod end off. Like so. That allows you to pull your shocks out, like so. It's just held on with a little clip. Some of them have, some of the aftermarket ones, it's just a screw. You can unscrew it. What I'm going to do is I won these at the last RC Excitement event that they had. So I know that I had 1/4 inch all the way around. That worked for me. Everybody's setup's going to be different. So I need an orange. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I know, I probably shouldn't. I'm going to go with the 3/8, which is the pink. I'm sorry, the green. Like so. Put that in here. That kind of a little snug. First time using these. I usually use the tubing. Alright, that's that. Take some of this green slime, coat the rubber here. Like so. Kind of looks like snot, but all right. Now I can put these back in. I'm not completely satisfied with these, how they fit, but the fuel tubing has a little bit more space. This you got to line up perfectly. A little rubber piece in there. Got to get it lined up just right. That, like that. Pretty much just putting it all back together the way you took it apart. Like so. Highly advise getting a pair of these shock pliers. If you use regular pliers, it'll gouge up the shaft. That's the last thing you want. Like so. Worked good. Okay. So I was running one of these. Actually, this is the right rear. Actually, wasn't running any spacers. Yeah, and I'm just kind of guessing based on my Sportsman setup. I can go there. This goes back in like so. Yep. And I was running 30 weight. Getting some of the air out. These don't have bleeder screws. Okay. I don't fill it all the way up to the top, but it's pretty close. Maybe 1/8 of an inch away. So this is the end result. I'm going to head to the track now. But that's pretty much what I got. Got the shock caps on, shocks adjusted. I'm not sure what I got until I get there, so we're going to have to kind of scope that out when the time comes, which I'm going to try to get there now. But overall, so far so good.